Good day and welcome back. This week we're going to building an add-on accessory for our teleprompter. Now I'm using the Canon T6i. It has a flip out screen and that's great for aligning your shots. But with me, I have limited space behind me to be able to get around there to kind of see what's going on, and it's a lot of playing around. Now I could just hook up a monitor and have it sitting on the bench there, but that's not really going to do the trick in my opinion. I want something that I can put on top of the camera and mount it to the cold shoe mount. So that's what we're going to do this week. I'm going to come up with something to go on top of my camera so that way I can make sure that my actual camera is in frame of me properly, or the way that I would like it to be when I'm filming. Let's go over to the bench here and we'll have a look at what we're going to be incorporating in this project. So here we have a couple of the products that I want to incorporate into the build today, and I feel this is kind of the basic bare minimum that you're going to get away with. You could definitely go with a different screen size. I just had this laying around. Here we have the, I've been buying a lot of this Cumin product here, so if you know, Cumin wants to send me a nice little package of some of their toys, hey, I'm not going to stop you. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I love your stuff. So we have the Cumin lithium battery for the Raspberry Pi. This is a 3.7 volt batteries. And basically I'm going to be using this guy here for powering the monitor. This should work in theory. I did have it working with the screen before, so we will use this guy here. When I don't have it in use, I tend to unplug the cable from it just to prevent any sort of damage or any sort of drain on it. So what I will do is we will incorporate this guy here into a case design. We have the switch here and the power here for charging. So we're going to have this on probably the right hand side of the display, and then we'll have our power switch here, unless we decide to move either one of those. We'll see what happens. I tend to try to keep it the same as much as possible, that way we're not, you know, doing too many modifications, and we can reuse it in other projects. Now here is the LCD right here. It comes with your little charge power cable, software disk. I don't know why, but has a bunch of stuff on it anyways. And then we have the display. So the great thing about this is we can design a case where this will just slide in and this will be sticking outward. And as you can see, it's not a bad screen. I ran the Portacade Pi on this and I absolutely loved this screen. It worked wonderfully and I was able to enjoy it while playing my retro games. So that project is now kind of completely ripped apart so I could recycle some of the parts, but this is a great screen. Check out my video on that if you want to see the quality, but I will be posting some actual footage of this working afterwards, so hopefully I get some good shots of that. So this is what we will be using. Now that I have an idea of what I want the products to be in it, now I got to design it up. So I'm going to go over to the computer, I'm going to design it up, I'll give you a quick peek at it, and then I will get printing it. I've got my case designed here. I decided that I would try to add this here. This here is going to be for the battery pack to mount onto. Hopefully those will go in there, and then what I might do is just take my 3D pen and just put a little bit on top to kind of weld it there. We'll see what happens. It might not work. I hope I have the dimensions right on everything. I think I do. These ports look good. We'll see what happens. I'll have to print it out, and that's how I'm going to totally know what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and get this printed. Then we'll take it back to the workbench there, and we'll have a look at it and see what went on. But for now, this is the design. I'll put up a version of this, and I'll take off the writing here, and maybe I'll do something else on it, just so it's more generic for you guys. And then if anything doesn't work on here, either the ports or anything like that, I will either adjust them or remove any that might not be needed, or and then you can make your own designs. On this one here, what I'll do is I will actually upload this file here as well, so you can edit and design it how you want, maybe for a project that you have in mind, so you can actually edit it and print it to how you want. But make sure, if you do that, upload it on Thingiverse, show me it. I would love to see what you guys come up with. But this is my first design on this. I probably could even make this a little skinnier, but I will leave that up to you guys. I will do up a generic design for on Thingiverse, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. So let's head over to the shop. Seemed like it was too cold in my room, and the classic bend in the print decided to happen, along with a few other issues. So I'm going to have to redo my enclosure on my 3D printer, and yeah, put the electronics on the outside, because it looks like the system that I am using is not working that well. So now onto this guy here. I'm not going to reprint it, but I did notice a few things that I did mess up on, which unfortunately it does happen. Now, originally what I was going to do was I was going to mount this guy in here, but it's not correct. I totally measured wrong. The screen fits in, the ports on the side here all work perfectly fine. I will have to print a switch for this here, which is going to be the backlight for the unit, and other than that, it should be working fairly well. But I will not be putting a back on it yet. I'm going to redesign and then print an actual sliding back piece that can go in afterwards, but I'm going to have to redesign the power pack mounting, as well as the for the switch here. So I'm going to have to move this down into the corner here where I can have access to that switch. So this was a trial and error. Obviously it was an error. It's gonna happen, but if you can salvage some of the stuff that you've done, great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna place my screen in, and it slides in pretty well. Let me just get that in there like that. So now the screen is in there. As you can tell, all the ports are showing on here. The one thing that I might want to do is I might want to move these ports up just a little bit. The HDMI looks great. I should be able to get a plug in there, no problem. And as you can see here, I should be able to switch, get a switch printed that I'll be able to switch that on and off. Now these here might not be wide enough here for a plug to go into, but I can certainly give it a go here. Let's see if I have something that I can test with. Oh, here we go. So I've got my plug here, and nope, that will fit perfectly fine there. So that's in there, and there we go. So that's good. That one's in. Yep, that one's in. Okay. So unless there is a different design on a plug than that there, I will have to either shave it down or adjust it. Not a huge deal, but I'll make it work for my setup. For now, all I'm going to do, I thought I had smaller screws. Once again, I don't have any. So I'm just going to glue the corners on the board in for now, and then I will mount this guy here, probably somewhere in here for now. So yeah, the original concept was to have it so that there was air holes at the top here, which are there, and have a closed back, so it was all one contained system. Now the reason why I put the writing on the front is that way if I lay it down, it's not going to scratch up the screen, and that's probably the best thing I could have done. So even if I had some screws that had a little bit bigger of an end on them, then that would work as well. But for me, I wanted to make sure. But like now, I'm going to be hot gluing it in there, and I'm not going to have any screws going in because I have to order some more, because unfortunately I can't get the sizes I need here in town. I have to order them online. When it comes to mounting the base, originally what I was going to do was use a 1/4 inch screw, feed it through, and then mount it on a plate. Something similar to this here. So that way I could have this at the bottom and then just slide it into my camera, and there we go. Everything's good. But that's not going to work because my thickness on this guy is actually too great. And I don't have a long enough screw. I don't think anyways. I'm going to have to look around, but from what I can tell, I do not have the right size screw once again. So I'm going to be Mickey Mousing this quite a bit to get it to work. Now, not the ideal situation, but you know what? I want this to work, so I'm going to get it working. I'm going to get this all together, and then we will test it out, and I'll show you exactly what I did to get it all together. Now, it's not going to be my ideal situation, but I want to get it working so that way I can use it. That's my main purpose. Now, I do have my wireless pack for my microphone on my camera right now. So I'm going to have to move that. So I probably need to get another mount as well, which I should have probably made an adapter or something that I could put on the screen as well, so I could have everything kind of attached on one. So a lot of redesigning will have to happen, but for playing around, messing around, and making something work, that's the main goal here. So I'm going to get it together and we'll have a look at it. Okay, so I just finished up hot gluing everything. Just so you can have a look here, I took a mount off of my Bauer microphone here for now. Once again, until I get another screw. And this is just a temporary kind of get it together, get it going kind of thing. So that's in there. This should eventually decide to, yeah, the glue is still hot, so it might take a few minutes. And then we will mount it on top of the camera and get the wires run and see how we're looking. So far, that's not bad. And then we will get the HDMI cable for the camera to go to here, because I think it is, it might be a mini, I'm not too sure, I'll have to look. But power pack's in. I should probably charge it up, but for the test, that's it. I'll get it up and we'll take a look at it working. So I was going to put it on my teleprompter box for a demo, but unfortunately I realized I would have to play around a lot more to be able to get something set up. So I just figured I would show it on my benchtop one, which I could in turn take it and mount it on my bar up here as well, so that way I could use this display up there while I'm looking down, instead of just using this small little display, or have it off to the side on another tripod or something. So all in all, the picture quality is great. It'll be enough for me to align my shots of how I want them, and there we go. No more fighting and going around the box. I will end up redesigning this at some point, and I just double-sided taped the battery pack onto the back of the LCD. So now I'm getting a lot of airflow in here anyway, so I don't have to worry about that. And yeah, it looks great. And you know, I got my custom writing on there. But yeah, eventually it will get redesigned. Maybe I'll find a little bit smaller of a screen to go in there. It's hard to tell, but I would like a little bit smaller of a screen. But then again, I like this 7-inch design. It definitely looks cool. And I'd be able to just basically edit up my current design a little bit more, so it'll be a bit more functional. To be able to accommodate the redesign as far as the battery pack holder and things like that. So when it comes down to it, not everything works out. So you know what? All you can do is give it a try, and hey, give it another try. Keep trying until you get it right. That's today's lesson, but I'm not going to try again right now. I'll try again later on. You get the lesson in there. It's functioning. It cost me next to nothing to make the display, because I just needed the filament and, you know, parts I had laying around from projects before. So awesome. There we go. We have a nice little display. Now I think it's about $50 Canadian for the display, and I think 20 something for the power pack. I'm not 100% sure, but for under $100 you can make a monitor that you want to fit what you need. That is the great thing about being able to 3D print your cases and your designs. You get to make it the way that you want it and the way you need it to be. So with that being said, thanks for watching, everyone. You have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Take care, eh?